blue crab fishery in Alabama produces 1 to 2 million pounds of crabs annually. This industry is an important part of the Gulf Coast economy. The Marine Resources Division of the Alabama Department of Conservation is charged with managing the crab fishery and ensuring the health and future of this important resource.
Crab fishing is difficult. They have to use traps that they put out, and these boats may put out several hundred traps and then have to run those traps every other day. They keep their crabs alive and then bring those live crabs to the processing facilities. We have certain areas that are closed near channels, near boat ramps, near piers to keep user conflict down. But we also have some areas that are closed to be a nursery for the crabs. The upper Mobile Bay up in the Delta, and then in some of the rivers and estuaries are closed to the use of crab traps to let those small crabs grow there before they move out into Mobile Bay and Mississippi Sound where they can be harvested. We have certain areas that are closed for crabbing to protect diamondback terrapins over in Heron Bay and some other places, because those are areas where the diamondback terrapins sometimes could get in the crab traps and drown.
Crab fishermen set strings of traps in areas open to crabbing. Each trap has a number that identifies the owner. Traps are baited with fish to attract the crabs into the traps. Once the traps are baited and placed in the water, they're allowed to sit usually until the next morning when the fishermen run the traps, remove the crabs, and rebait the traps. Crabs removed from traps are measured and sorted. Crabs must be 5 inches point to point to be legal. Crabs smaller than 5 inches are released alive. Legal-sized crabs are boxed and stored until all the traps are run. Then the boxes of live blue crabs are offloaded and transported to the processor where they're sold.
The amount of crabs that are landed in Alabama are only part of the story. We process more crabs here in Alabama than are actually produced or harvested here. Trucks come over from Louisiana and Mississippi every night and bring crabs to Viola Battery. So where we may land between 1 million and 2 million pounds, we'll process over 5 million pounds of crab a year here in Alabama.
Each night, crabs are brought to the processor where they're unloaded from trucks. Crabs are sorted to remove any dead crabs, then placed in a large pot and boiled. After the crabs are cooked, workers separate the legs from the bodies and discard the large hard shell. The shells are cleaned out and sold to other processors to produce stuffed crabs. Once the legs are separated, pickers remove the meat. One group produces crab claws and picks the meat from the other parts of the leg, and another group produces lump crab meat from the crab bodies. When the meat has been removed from the shell and sorted, it is then packaged and shipped to markets all over the country.
The recreational fishery is a little bit different than the commercial fishery. Recreational fishermen are limited to 5 traps per person, and they can just use those traps under their regular saltwater fishing license. It doesn't require a separate license.
Blue crab meat is a favorite in many parts of the United States. Whether boiled or fried, crab meat is a delicacy enjoyed by millions of Americans. Blue crab, fresh from the Alabama Gulf Coast to you.